Hey YouTube, it's Brandon Red here with Ramen Noodle Budgets, and in today's video I'm going to show you guys how to repaint the Trick or Treat Studios 2018 Michael Myers mask. Now, I just got this mask yesterday, and overall it's an incredible mask, but the paint job is just not to my liking, and I know a lot of people have this problem. So I decided to make a quick tutorial, and here's the after. As you can see, it's a lot less green. I don't know if the camera could really show how green it was. There's a lot more kind of the right color. So to start off, we need to change the base of the color. So I'm using a vanilla and a white Craftsmart. These are just from Michaels. And I'm doing a 1-to-1 ratio of paint to liquid latex, and then just a little bit of water to thin it down. Now, yeah, you should get the consistency. That's the color I got. It's like a little off-white. Now, this is my first time ever painting a latex mask, so if I did anything wrong, guys, please let me know. So far, I haven't had any problems with cracking or peeling. But yeah, as you can see, the color is just not right. I wish the camera would pick up more of that green, but it's really green and just... So this is the side I've already painted, and I'm going to show you guys how I did that really quick. So basically, you're kind of dry brushing it on. You don't want to get rid of all the detail. So I basically put a little bit on the brush and then wipe most of it off, and then really lightly kind of paint it down. And I started with the hairline so that I didn't really mess up the hairline. And then began to lightly paint this down. As you can see, I'm trying to keep some of the detail there because you really don't want to wipe out all of that work. I actually put a little bit too much under the eyes and wiped off a lot of the detail, so I had to do a lot more work later on. I would suggest trying to keep it as light as possible when you get over those areas because you want to keep that awesome kind of wrinkled texture. But on the forehead of the mask, there isn't supposed to be any crazy wrinkle texture as we've seen in the set photos, so you might want to cover up most of that like I did. So there's most of the mask painted white. Now, I'm using just some really cheap, it's a $5 set of brushes, and I'd rarely recommend this because after using liquid latex on your brushes, it's going to get pretty messed up. So here's a 50-50 mix of black and liquid latex. I don't think I put any water on this because I wanted it to be pretty thick. And then using a super thin brush, you guys are going to want to begin to paint in the thicker kind of detail areas that it just makes it a lot easier, and you want to use like a thicker liquid latex mix because you want this to really stay, because what we're going to do next is kind of like a black liquid latex wash, and I'll get to that in a second. But as you can see, I'm slowly going into all these cracks and crevices, and it takes a while to really see them, but once you kind of look at a lot of set photos like I did, you'll begin to notice them. I honestly just went on eBay and found a lot of people's videos of them, or I'm sorry, the pictures of their masks that they'd repainted that are going for insane amounts of money on eBay, which I will not be doing, but I basically have been following some of theirs as reference photos. And sorry, my head's kind of in the way there, guys. I didn't really notice how close I was to the camera. As you can see, I'm trying to get in some of the crevices, and there's some areas that are kind of like dented, and I really just filled in like the border of it and then left the inside kind of white. As you can see, I'm finding more and more wrinkles on the mask. Now, some of these small wrinkles aren't really necessary to fill, and I'll show you guys why in a second, but this was before I even planned on doing the wash, so I was really just trying to get most of the details emphasized as possible. I know some people have been doing theirs, the cracks and crevices a lot more prominent, but I kind of wanted to keep mine pretty light because most of the set photos show it pretty light. Now, the next step is you can just use the same amount of, I made a whole new batch. I mixed up 50-50 of liquid latex and black paint, but then added like 2 parts water to that, and to really thin it down. And start off small, I'm doing it like this small cheek area, painting it black, and then using a rag, just wipe it off. Now, if you're used to doing, you know, washes of acrylic paint and anything else, this probably is, like, you probably understand what's going on here. It's getting in all the deep crevices, and then as you wipe it away, it gets rid of it on the base surface, so it just stays in all those cracks. So once I realized the paint was, it didn't stick as much, I didn't have to worry about doing small sections. I did basically half the mask at a time, and then wiped it off. And as you can see, it really started to make some of these areas pop, and it even added a little bit of a gray kind of color to the rest of the mask. So as you can see, it's really getting in those cracks now, especially near like the ear and stuff and on the temples. And then after you've done that a few times, I actually did it twice, I then began to focus it on wherever the wrinkles were, and I'd leave it there for about like 30 to 40 seconds and then blot it off with a wash rag or just any type of towel to really emphasize a lot of that detail, which works really well for the most part. It also is really important that you guys try and keep the hairs pushed back as possible. I unfortunately did get some stray hairs stuck in the paint that you really don't want there, because if you peel it and your latex is stuck, it could peel some of the latex off with it. Luckily, I haven't had that problem yet. The paint seems to be having no problem. Now this part is sort of optional in my opinion. I haven't seen this in any of the actual mask photos, but I've seen people do it in their own repaints, and it's just taking a little bit of like a skin color, it's like, and then a terracotta color, not skin color, it's like a dark brown. It's kind of like, it's the skin color of what the William Shatner mask is, I'm pretty sure what people are doing. And then I'm just painting this on the bottom edges of the mask. That's basically where I kept it concentrated. I know some people have been putting it on the rest of the face and areas where it would kind of be rubbed off, but I just really focused it, as you can see, all around the neck there to try and, I don't know, it kind of added a cool emphasis, or not emphasis, but a cool contrast to the rest of the mask. And at that point, you guys are pretty much done. I am really happy with the results. I think it looks a lot better than it did before, and I hope you guys enjoy. Obviously, you can do your own rendition of it. You can add more wrinkles and add more detail, but this is what I liked. So, thank you guys so much. Subscribe, and please share this video. Thanks.